Hello again, welcome to my floor. Happy New Year. I hope you made it out of 2022 alive and well. I did, as you can see. I am sitting here with my laptop, ready to finally find out what was my favorite book of 2022, because I don't know. I read some bangers, I read some not very good books, and I haven't really picked one that was like my favorite of the year. So I've been very excited to find out. I saw Jack Edwards do the bracket thing with his like 4-star books, I think, to see what like his runner-up favorite book was. I'm gonna do that, but with all the books I read, except for rereads, plays, short stories, and poetry collections, and then also some like random non-fiction that I didn't really consider prose. So I read 70 books. I cheated a little bit by counting like longer short stories that I had to read for school and stuff like that, but I made it to 70, and I have put 32 into the bracket thing. Oh yeah, honorable mention to Prima Facie. You can see her up there. I didn't include plays because I knew that she would win, and that just, it wouldn't be fair. I mean, it's not really a book, you can't buy it. It was the whole experience attached to it. It was Jodie Comer. It wouldn't have been fair to include her in this. The first round goes between The Kleine Johannes and The Argonauts. The Kleine Johannes is a book that I read for school. It was the first book that I read last year. I surprisingly enjoyed it very much. It's a very old book, but it's really cool. It's kind of whimsical and a bit weird, and I really loved it, but I did not love it more than The Argonauts. Sorry, do I just pick one? Like, what happens? Okay, I just give it 1 point, I guess. All right, moving on. Wait by Jeanette Winterson and Childhood, Youth and Dependency by Tove Ditlevsen. This is difficult because the Tove Ditlevsen one also has like a whole experience tied up to it, whereas Wait is a Jeanette Winterson book, and I love Jeanette Winterson. However, Wait was not one of my favorites, but I didn't love Childhood, Youth and Dependency very much on its own, so I'm gonna have to pick Wait. That's just the way the world works. I am so sorry for anyone in this list that is up against a Jeanette Winterson book. The odds were stacked against them. Ooh, In the Dream House versus Homegoing. That's tough. I love both very much. I think I have them both. No. Okay, well actually this is telling because I recently reorganized my favorites shelf because my favorites are all up there, but I had so many that I couldn't see half of them because they were just stacked in front of each other. So I kind of had to organize them from most favorites to just other ones, and In the Dream House is the one that ended up here, whereas Homegoing is still up there. So sorry to In the Dream House, you were great. Oh no! It's The Passion Against Our Wives Under the Sea. Before I started doing this, I was like, it's either going to be Our Wives Under the Sea, Vagabonds, or The Power Book, or The Passion by Jeanette Winterson. I can't do this. It's too soon into the game. I can't. I'm gonna skip that one for now. I can't do it. Can't do it. Trumpet and The Year of Magical Thinking. Actually, these are both about a spouse dying and the spouse dealing with that afterwards. That's an interesting coincidence. The thing is, however, that Trumpet is about a trans man, and he has my heart. I'm sorry to Joan Didion, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Trumpet. Next up, we have The Water App and Salt Slow. The Water App is also up there, but it's because aesthetically it looks good with another bunch of books that's up there. I think if I had to choose, I would go with Salt Slow. Maybe this is overcompensation for Our Wives. No, oh my god, I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I feel bad about it. I want The Passion to know that, and I'm not gonna do it yet. Autobiography of Red versus Piranesi. Yeah, that's gonna have to be Piranesi. I liked Autobiography of Red well enough, but it didn't hit as hard as Piranesi did. That book fucking slaps. The End We Start From and Art and Lies. Art and Lies is here. The End We Start From is up there. Art and Lies is a Jeanette Winterson book. The thing is, I read it at the wrong time. I did not have the concentration for it. I just couldn't get into it. Whereas The End We Start From, I just loved start to finish. I think I read it in one day, so that definitely wins. Then we have Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead and Love and Other Thought Experiments. I know what I'm gonna do, it's not very hard. Love and Other Thought Experiments is one of the wildest rides a book has ever taken me on, and I appreciate it for that so much. Such a great book. I recommend it to everyone and their mom. Giovanni's Room versus Halls. Well, I read Halls because Art and Lies was putting me in a reading slump and I had to read something simple. So I read Halls and it was perfect with the time I was reading it. But was it better than Giovanni's Room? I mean, no. Sorry. Oh, we've got two Jeanette Winterson up against each other, but that's actually not that hard because the Power Book is on my favorite shelf and Sex and the Cherry is here, so that's obvious. The Vegetarian versus Spijkerschrift, another Dutch one. I'm sorry, there's a bunch of Dutch ones in here, but there were some that I just absolutely couldn't leave out, like Spijkerschrift. It was such a beautiful book. It was about the Persian Revolution and generations of men growing up during that and then moving to the Netherlands, and it blew my mind. It was such a good book, honestly fantastic. If you read Dutch, you should read that one. I don't know if it's been translated, maybe. Up against The Vegetarian, I liked The Vegetarian quite a lot because my expectations for it were boring, to say the least, and then it was a lot more entertaining than I thought it would be. So it does have that going for it, but I think I'm gonna pick Spijkerschrift. Then we have Fun Home versus How Should a Person Be. That's funny because I read How Should a Person Be for school, for uni, and I wrote a paper on it. And for that paper, I read an article that was also about another book by Alison Bechdel. Not Fun Home, but one about her mother instead of her father. However, How Should a Person Be was fine, whereas Fun Home is fantastic. So that's pretty simple. This is a very funny combination. We've got Anti-Boy and Jane Eyre. Also funny because I had to make a podcast about Jane Eyre and I started ranting about how Jane Eyre is probably queer and Anti-Boy is a Dutch book about a queer person. It's not that funny, is it? It is a coincidence. However, I mostly just put Jane Eyre in here because I conquered that and I'm very proud of that. But it wasn't really a favorite, and again, Anti-Boy is also on my favorite shelf, so there we go. Also, this is like 600 pages against 100 pages, so you know what I'm gonna choose. Then we have Upstream and Vagabonds. That is so unfair to Upstream, because Vagabonds, I'm just saying, I'm very biased to have Vagabonds win this, but it might not happen, who knows. Then we have All Men Want to Know and Let Us Do a Young Poet. Yeah, it's gonna be Let Us Do a Young Poet. All Men Want to Know is a pretty good book about a lesbian in Paris in the 90s, I believe. And it also has some fun stuff about her relationship with her Algerian parents, and it's been a while since I read it and I thought it was good, but it didn't really touch me the way that I hoped it would. Whereas Let Us Do a Young Poet is great. Now I have to choose between The Passion and All Wives Under the Sea, and I still don't want to. What if I just didn't? I'm just gonna see how far I can get without voting on that one, because I don't want to. The Argonauts and Wait. Wait is a retelling of the myth of Atlas, but done in the Jeanette Winterson way, so it's special. And then the Argonauts really doesn't have that much to do with mythology, but it does have a reference to the Argonauts. Jeanette Winterson and Maggie Nelson are probably my favorite writers. I'm gonna pick the Argonauts because Wait just wasn't as mind-blowing as the Argonauts was. I can't believe The Passion or All Wives Under the Sea has to go up against Homegoing. This is already killing me. Okay, anyways. Trumpet or Salt Slow? I'm gonna pick Salt Slow. Am I? Wait. I just want Julia Armfield to win something. I couldn't bear it. I couldn't bear it. Piranesi versus The End We Start From. Oh boy. I think I rated these both 9 out of 10. Solid favorites of the year. That is hard. I think in terms of like efficiency in storytelling, I'm gonna go with The End We Start From. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I talked about The End We Start From in my recent 5-star reads video, if you want to see my thoughts on that. It's a very short book about a mother and her baby during the apocalypse, Jodie Comer's gonna star in the movie that's coming out about it, and it was so much better than I expected it would be. Love and Other Thought Experiments versus Giovanni's Room. That's gonna be Love and Other Thought Experiments. Yeah. Sorry to that man. Not me calling James Baldwin that man. The Power Book versus Spijkerschrift. I'm sorry to Spijkerschrift. What am I doing? Yes, the Power Book. Fun Home versus Anti-Boy. Also interesting thematically. Basically, I just read a lot of queer fiction. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Fun Home, because, yeah. Vagabonds, Letters to a Young Poet. That has got to be Vagabonds. Now I have to choose between The Passion and All Wives Under the Sea, and this is so fucking unfair. I bought The Passion when I found out that Jeanette Winterson, my girl, had written about a character named Villanelle, also my girl. And Villanelle, in The Passion, falls in love with a married woman. My shit. I really love that book. I think that is one of my favorite Jeanette Wintersons. I think actually my second favorite Jeanette Winterson. I don't say that lightly, but All Wives Under the Sea made a really big impact on me this year. I am so sorry to The Passion. I just want you guys to know that The Passion means the world to me. Okay, now I have to choose between Homegoing and All Wives Under the Sea, and I'm so sorry to Homegoing, but I didn't just vote out The Passion for nothing, okay? Alright, so now we have the Argonauts up against All Wives Under the Sea. Again, I did not vote out The Passion for nothing. I'm sorry to Maggie Nelson. Now we have Salt Slow up against The End We Start From. Now, Julia Armfield is well represented up to this stage, so I'm gonna go with The End We Start From. Didn't think she would get this far, but here we are. Love and Other Thought Experience versus The Power Book. This also hurts my heart a little bit. These books actually, they're the same kind of chaotic, but the prose in The Power Book is just absolutely unparalleled. And so I can't not. Fun Home up against Vagabonds. I am sorry to Fun Home, but Vagabonds is one of the greatest books I ever read. Ooh, we have a top 4 that I did not see coming, but that's because The Passion and Our Wives Under the Sea were up against each other so soon into the game. Instead of The Passion, we have The End We Start From up against Our Wives Under the Sea, and it's not hard to pick. I'm sorry to Megan Hunter, I think her name is, but if she's watching this and she saw me struggling to pick just now, she would understand that I'm picking Our Wives Under the Sea. And you also have to realize that at this point, The Passion is standing behind every step that Our Wives Under the Sea is taking towards the #1 spot. The Power Book versus Vagabonds. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? Should I just call it quits? Call it a shared first place between 4 books? I don't want to choose between Vagabonds and The Power Book. You know what the worst part is? Objectively, I would have to choose Vagabonds. That would mean that there will be no Jeanette Winterson in the top 2, and I can't do that. What if I just stop right here? I feel like I should pick them both up from my favorite shelf, by the way, and read them again. But I don't have time to do that right now, so... This is like torture. Put a gun to my head, I still wouldn't know. I still wouldn't be able to do this. Okay, gun to the head. I'm so sorry to The Power Book. This hurt me. This physically hurt me. Vagabonds and Our Wives Under the Sea. Like, I knew this was going to happen, but I really thought that Jeanette would make it a bit farther into the game, and now I'm upset that she didn't. So now I want neither of them to win. I can't do this. I want to pick Our Wives, but I don't think I can. I can't do it. I can't believe how soon we lost The Passion. I'm in mourning over that. You know what? Okay, I'm calling it quits. This is it. I'm not choosing. I'm not doing it. And screen recording. I made the executive decision. I did not have one favorite book of 2022. I had 4 favorite books of 2022. I should have known because these are the ones that were on my favorite shelf. So in no particular order, Our Wives Under the Sea, Vagabonds, The Power Book, and The Passion. I'm not picking, I'm not choosing between my favorite children. I can't do that. And I won't. There we have it. My favorite books of 2022. So anyway, if you want to be my friend if you want to read any books that I recommend, then these 4 are obviously my main recommendations. If you want my love, read these. I will love you. And I hope that you will love them. Alright, so thank you for watching this possibly quite anticlimactic video. I don't think it was very surprising. I've talked about all of these books on this channel before, except The Passion, I think. But the good news is that I am planning to do a video on Jeanette Winterson, period. Like a guide to Jeanette Winterson, because people have been asking me like, what is your favorite book by her? Like, which one would you recommend? And I find that really hard because she has such a specific style that you kind of have to be into. And I like everything she writes, but not everything is like as tangible and, you know, like every book is for a different occasion. Every person would probably like a different Jeanette Winterson book. So I'm going to try to figure that out and make a video about that. Other than that, I said in the last video I uploaded that I was going to have top surgery next month, and that actually would have been in 6 days. But it got cancelled, and yeah, boo. It is gonna happen at some point, I just don't know when. But I have a vacation anyway, so I hope I'm gonna have a bit more time to make videos and upload them, maybe. Other than that, it's a new year. It's not a new me. It's really just the same old shit. Anyway, I hope you're well. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to read Stonebridge Blues. Find your free download link to Stonebridge Blues in the description. Read it. Come talk to me about it. And follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna try to be cooler on Instagram this year. Make prettier pictures, which is hard with a shitty little phone, but see how far I get. Tell me what your favorite books of 2022 were. I'm not asking for a single one. You don't have to pick one. You can just tell me all the ones that ended up on your favorite shelf. If you have a favorite shelf. I feel like most people do. Tell me about them. And I'll see you some other time. Bye. Favorites.